Hello, good day. And in this class, we're going to look at linear equation. So we're going to look at some steps on how to resolve a linear equation of the form ax plus b is equal to cx plus d. Now, if I fail with this kind of linear equation, how do we resolve it without difficulty? The first thing you have to do is to identify the unknown terms on both sides of the equations. You see the unknown terms are the term containing x, ax, and cx. So that's the first thing you have to identify on both sides. Then the next thing is for you to identify the constant term. And the constant term here are the b and d. So the constant term are those terms that do not contain any unknown. So that's why we refer to them as the constant term. They are fixed in nature. Okay, that's the second thing you have to do, identify the constant term on both sides of the equation. Then the third thing is for you to identify the smaller of step 1 and step 2. What do we mean by step 1 and step 2? You identify among these unknown terms here, ax and cx, identify the smaller one, as well as the smaller one among the constant term on both sides. Then immediately you have gotten that, what you need to do, you have to look for the additive inverse of the smaller of the unknown terms and the smaller of the constant term that you have already identified in step 1 and step 2. Then you look for the additive inverse and add it to both sides of the equation. So if you have done that, you see that the equation will automatically reduce to an equation of the form, will reduce to the equation and the linear equation of the form ax is equal to b. So immediately you add the additive inverse of step 3 to both sides of the equation, it will reduce to this form. And what do you do here? So that is the step 4. You multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of the coefficient of the unknown in step 4. So what you need to do here, immediately the equation r is reduced to the, you look for this one, look for this, identify the coefficient of the unknown. And the next thing is for you to multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse means 1 over the coefficient of the unknown. You use it to multiply both sides. Now quickly, let's look at this question on the board. So the question resembles what I've just said, ax plus b is equal to cx plus d. So we have 10x minus 6 is equal to 3x plus 15. So here, the first thing it has us to do is to identify the constant term on both sides, the unknown terms on both sides, and the constant term on both sides. Look at the unknown term here. The unknown terms is 10x, and the other one is what, 3x. That is the first step you have to do here. This other step is you have to identify the constant term, which is minus 6 and 15. So having done this, you now look at this one then. Which of them is smaller? Is it 10x or 3x? You can see the smaller one is 3x. So if you look at this, minus 6 and plus 15, the smaller between them is minus 6. Then the next thing, which is now our step 3, we have identified the smaller one of them. The smaller one of them is 3x and minus 6. That is step 3. Then we say add the additive inverse of step 3. First of all, let's look for the additive inverse. Additive inverse of 3x is minus 3x, and that of minus 6 will give us 6. The additive inverse of any number is usually obtained by multiplying the number by minus 1. By minus what? 1. This is 3x times minus 1 will give us minus 3x. This is minus 6. Minus times minus become plus. That's why this. So what we need to do, we bring this equation and add this and this to both sides of the equation. So we are definitely going to do it to both sides of the equation. This one is 10x minus 3x. Okay, minus 6 plus 6. We are doing it to both sides. And here we have 3x minus 3x. Here we have plus 15 minus okay, plus 6 plus 6. So I've done it to both sides. You can see we treated both sides, added minus 3x and 6 to both sides, and if you do that, 10x minus 3x, that will give us 7x, and you see this one is completely off. Okay, then we go to the right hand side of the equation. 3x minus 3x, they are off, and 15 plus 6, that gives 21. So that will give us what? 21. So you see that this thing has reduced to what I've just told you, that it become ax is equals to b, and what you need to do, which is step 5, multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of the coefficient of the unknown term. So the coefficient of the unknown term here is 7. Now let's look for the multiplicative inverse of 7. Multiplicative inverse of 7, that is the reciprocal of 7, is 1 over 7. So what you usually do, so this is 1 over 7 times 7x is equals to 1 over 7 times 21. So this x, this is 7 go off with 7, and here we're left with x. I will ask ourselves 27 divided by 21 divided by 7, and that gives 3. So you see that x is equals to what? Is equals to 3. This format is very useful if you are looking to find the solution to a linear equation of this form. Okay, I will leave you here. You can also practice with some questions here. You come up with this, write the format down, practice as many questions as possible. There are some also left here. So until I meet you in our next class, have a nice time. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on this video and clicking on the red button. This is the subscribe button, and that will be all. In case you also want me to teach you via Zoom platform or WhatsApp, you can also get across to me. Have a nice time. See you till our next class.